There are two kinds of people in this world. Either you're doing things you know you shouldn't, or you're not doing things you know you should. Guess what? We're both. Hi, I'm Marcy Barker, life and business coach, aka your loving kick in the pants. This podcast is here to help you become accountable with aligned action and become boss-minded while growing a business without sacrificing what matters most. Let's dive in. Good morning, my beautiful people. Today is going to be short. I'm a little under the weather. I'm on the uphill. My family just returned from a 2-week road trip up the East Coast. It was so awesome, but I got sick on the tail end of it, and I was glad to come home and be in my own bed. And then I was like, oh, I got to do a podcast. And I almost considered skipping it, but my voice is good. I've got my water next to me, and I have an experience that I want to share because I feel like it'll be helpful. And that's what this whole podcast is about, is you're here because you want to be more accountable, and the accountability code can help you do that. Becoming boss-minded framework can help you do that, especially during tough situations. And I'm not saying this is a super tough situation, but it's enough to bother me. And anytime that something needs to be changed or corrected, the accountability code is going to be a perfect way to do that. So let's go through the accountability code. I'll tell you a little bit of the drama. It's not even drama, but it's, like I said, enough to be like, this is bothering me. Let's fix it. So first step of the accountability code is reflection. Okay. Here's where the story started. I volunteer with an organization a lot. I help them out quite a bit. And I was volunteering at an event, and there was a video that was highlighting all this stuff. And me and a couple other friends were like, this video is amazing. We saw all of our friends in it, but how come we're not in this video? And we were just joking, like, we're the most important people that help out. You know, we're just volunteers. We're not even like leaders of the organization. So at this event, we were giving the boss a hard time of like, why aren't we in this video? We're the most important volunteers. And the person said, you know, we're going to do more projects and we will contact you. You'd be great. Like, don't worry. You're going to hear about the next opportunity. So we're like, okay, whatever. So then I get a call from somebody, I don't know, less than a month later, and they said, hey, this organization just hired us to do more video production, and they said that they think you would be great in it and we want you involved. And I said, that's awesome. I said, who at this organization recommended me? Because I want to know. And they told me all the important names that I was like, okay, if these people say that I should be involved, then I'm more than happy to help out. But I told them, I said, I'm really busy. I'm leaving out of town. I can't talk now. Can we book a call in like 2 or 3 weeks? And they said, that's fine. This is a big project. We have lots of time, so there's no rush. So I say, okay, that's awesome. So I get on the call today. And this person starts talking about all the video production that this organization is going to do, and there's opportunities for local businesses to be involved. And then they proceed to try and sell me a video production package for $5,000. And I was like, I'm confused here, because I thought this person hired you and now you're trying to sell me something. I said, where does the money that I pay you, is this to support the organization or what? And he said, the organization is going to get a commission of everything that we do, but your video gets to be highlighted within the organization. And I said, but it's an ad? Like I'm going to put an ad on their website. I don't think people want to go to their website to just click play on ads. So as we're talking, I'm like, this is not for me. And I said, you know, I'm sorry, but this is not for me. This is not what I thought you were reaching out about. I thought I was recommended to help this organization. And he said, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, no, we're here to see if you want to buy a branding and marketing package with us. And I was like, no, sorry, that is not what I signed up for. I don't market my business in this way. And I would have never, ever booked a call to inquire about services if that's what was communicated to me. So reflection is thinking on your goals, your values, and your problems. My value is supporting organizations that I believe are beneficial to me and other people. That's why I volunteer. I actually pay money to be in the volunteer organization because there are benefits to it. But the reflection piece is like, this is kind of shady. I didn't like that there was this understanding of, hey, yes, we can totally put you in a video. We have lots of videos. You're amazing. And I'm not just somebody who frequents their organization. I'm somebody who actually shows up and helps. So The reflection in this was I was really put off by that because all of a sudden I'm on a sales call where this organization is going to get a commission on me, and it's not really about featuring me. It's about making a sale on me. So reflection can last a very long time. Reflection, I'm sure you guys have had experiences where you're like thinking for weeks and weeks and weeks about an interaction you had, and it just bothers you and it puts a bad taste in your mouth. As you are loving kick in the pants, there needs to be a cutoff time for reflection in some cases, where even if you need to like set a timer for a pity party, totally fine. This podcast, this is the end of this little pity party for me. And I know that because the accountability code is the process that helps me become aligned in mind and body, so follow through becomes easy and peaceful. Okay, so that's the reflection piece. Reflection piece is no judgment. It's just what happened. That's it. So my reflection was, ooh, bad taste in my mouth. I thought I was supporting you, but it turns out you just gave somebody my information trying to make a sale on me. I don't like that. Humility in this. I got off the call early because I was like, I'm not sitting through a sales presentation. So I told them, this is not right for me. This is not communicated to me. Good luck. And so I went downstairs and I told my husband about it, and he was like, why are you surprised? Like, the organization that you help, they're another business. They're trying to make money. And I said, I'm bothered by it because I would never do that to somebody. And I would communicate the actual reason that I'm passing over somebody's information to contact them. So humility is a modest view of who you are now related to who you can be. For me, the humility in this is double downing on my commitment to not treat people that way. The other piece is recognizing that yes, this organization is a business that has to function. And so I can't be mad that they chose to work with this company to try and make sales on their volunteers. Like, I understand that. I totally understand that. So the humility is I'm going to not be pissed. I'm not going to completely write everything off, but I'm going to tune into what I actually need to do to move forward because that's the only thing that I can do. The next step of the accountability code is planning. So planning is a detailed proposal for achieving success. Now, when it comes to planning, I always ask my clients, what's something you've done in the past that worked? And what are pieces you can continue doing? And what pieces of your past plan can we kind of leave out because they don't apply or they just don't work? Now, for me, being involved in this organization, guess what? I'm volunteering on one aspect, and I used to volunteer on another aspect. But guess what? A few months ago, I decided the other aspect, it's not for me. They don't really want my help. I would show up to meetings, I would give my feedback, nothing would change. And it wasn't really aligned with how I would put on events and service people who are coming to benefit from the organization. So when I think about plan, I'm like, you know what? I already tapped out of one piece because it wasn't working for me. I think it's time to tap out of this piece too. Because if they're using my volunteer status as a reason to try and sell me, I don't like that. So my plan is to tap out of that piece, the volunteer piece. That's my plan. Remember, a plan is a detailed proposal for achieving success. In order for me to have success and continue with this organization, which I think is beneficial for me and a lot of other people that I service, I don't want to completely cut everything off because a proposal for success is adjusting. So that's my plan. Hey, my beautiful people. If you're loving these episodes, you'll want the full experience. I've bundled both of my books, The Accountability Code and Becoming Boss Minded, into one powerful package. You'll get instant access to the audiobooks and ebooks so you can learn and grow anytime, anywhere. Head to bossminded.com and grab the book bundle now. It's the perfect way to stay inspired between episodes. All right, let's dive back in. Okay, now that's the wake up part. That's the mental part of I've sorted through this. Now the next part is show up. So that's what you actually do. And that starts with implementing. So implementing is putting into use your desired skills or values. My top strength is communication. And one thing that I really value is talking about it. So there will be a physical, real time and place where I talk to this organization and say, I'm not comfortable with you handing out my information in this way. And you made me believe one thing without communicating the outcome for it. And I'm not happy about that. I don't expect anything, honestly. The only reason I would tell them that is for feedback. Like maybe other people don't care that their information is being passed around and this organization might get a commission. But for me, I would never do that to somebody. So my communication is the implementing here. Now, there is a time and a place for everything. So I'm not going to say, let me write an email right now. because I think it will be better done in person. So there will be a time where I'm talking with these people in person and I will share it there. Because I do think that some things got lost in translation just because it wasn't communicated properly, both in person and through email, through communication. Because there was one other interesting thing in this story is that in one of the volunteer committee, as a volunteer, we are assigned to new members of this organization, and we go out of our way to make sure the new members get what they need. And I was assigned to this company that reached out. So with that connection, when they say, hey, we want you to connect with this people, there was nothing about, hey, they're going to try and sell you. So when I was given the information, that was withheld, and I felt like that was an important piece of the puzzle that would have been great to start this connection for the benefit of all the parties involved. All right, so after implementing, putting into use your desired skills or values, I have no problem starting up a conversation with somebody and saying, hey, this was a little off, can we chat about it? The next step of the accountability code is commitment. So commitment is dedicating yourself to a person or a cause, and it's binding yourself to an outcome. So if I look at my complete history with this organization and the benefits that have come to both them and me from us partnering together, there's been really good things that have come out of it. So my commitment is going to be for my own self, because I can't force commitments on anybody else, but my own commitment is that I'm only going to spend my time and energy in places that stay mutually beneficial. Now, if I was going to continue to put myself on all these committees and I was draining my energy because it's not a good fit, that would not be success. But if I can pull back how much time and energy I've spent given to somebody else's business, that will be success. So my own commitment, and commitments, usually I say to my clients, it's black and white. Like, you can write it down and you can check it off. It's something that can be completed, and you can prove it and you can show it to somebody else. So my commitment in this case would be when the renewal comes around and this organization says, hey, do you want to be on this committee? You would be great. Hey, do you want to sign up to volunteer at all these things? I'm going to say, no, thank you. It's not a fit for me at this time. And that is a complete truth. So that is my commitment. And if I follow through with my commitments, I'm going to have less experiences like this to be bothered by. So commitments are a huge thing, and it's not about controlling the other party at all. It's about you deciding what's right for you, and that's the beauty of the accountability code. Now, the last step of the accountability code is feedback. So feedback is information used as a basis for improvement. Feedback is not emotional. Feedback is literally saying what happened here and what can we learn from this information. So part of the feedback is immediate, and other parts of the feedback, it's going to take time, because there's feedback right now of like, oh, I'm going to ask more questions when somebody says I come highly recommended and they want me involved in a project. I'm going to ask a lot more details about that. That's feedback that will help me move forward. Another piece of feedback is there's a lot of people in this organization that I chat with, and it's probably going to be a different conversation based on who I talk with because of who handles the communication. The other piece of feedback is when I went and talked to Aubrey, and he was like, they're a business, why are you surprised? Like, everybody's just trying to run a business. That feedback is a good reminder to me of like, don't be mad, everybody's in it for themselves. I have been backstabbed by people before, and one of the things that, I'm not saying this is a backstab by any means, but one thing that really helps me is recognize that really everybody's in business for themselves. Everybody, even me. I can serve people all day long, but what was the initial reason I wanted to volunteer or help with these committees is because there is some sort of mutual benefit involved. So feedback, that's a good reminder. Now, some of the feedback that's going to come later, like I am not going to know pieces of data of this plan until I actually execute it. So there will be more feedback after I talk to a couple people in the organization. And one, like even on the call, I told this person, I said, this is not the best use of my time. I was unaware that this was the purpose. And he said, I'm sorry. He said, I didn't know that they didn't communicate that to you. And he apologized. And that was very big of him. And in my conversations with people, there might be people that be like, just get over it. No big deal. Or there might be people that's like, hey, we messed up. We should have communicated that. We apologize. Or I might say, hey, I'm not going to renew. I'm not going to help in this stuff. And people, maybe nobody will care. Or maybe somebody will reach out and say, hey, we're so grateful for your service over the last year. I don't know. And there's no reason, there's no benefit to making up stories. Like, you have to collect that feedback after action is taken. So for me, after I go through the accountability code, it's like, it's all great. We sat here and talked about it. But what's really important is my commitment item. That's the only thing that's going to change the trajectory of what I do and how I handle situations in the future, is if I actually act on my commitment item. So my reason for sharing this with you is, one, utilize the accountability code in your life. I promise you it will help you. Two, these commitment items that you set with yourself are designed to create more peace and happiness in your life. And you deserve it. Just takes a little bit of work. Takes a little bit of work, emotional intelligence, maybe coaching. All of you have the accountability code. You guys hear me all the time. If you don't have it yet, you can go download it. It's completely free. But I want you to know that I'm here for you, and I'm here to help you sort through these things, because even though this whole situation was about business, situations like this impact your life and how you handle things and how you function day to day. So don't ignore the importance of addressing those things and taking action in that way. So I said this was going to be shorter. You guys, I'm sorry it was not shorter. I don't think I'm capable of really short podcasts or messages. I don't know if some people's podcasts are an hour. Maybe we'll get back into that when I have some guests on the show. But for now, I want to thank you for listening to this podcast. I want to thank you for caring about your own accountability. And I want to thank you for understanding that really you're the only person you can control. That's what accountability is all about. It's not about obedience to somebody else. It's not about forcing somebody to be responsible. Accountability is about following through with what you know you should do, and I wish you the best. I'm here for you. We'll see you next week for another episode of Your Loving Kick in the Pants. Thanks for tuning in, friend. If this episode gave you value, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with someone in your circle who's ready to wake up, show up, and grow their business without sacrificing what matters most. When you do, you're not just helping them, you're building your network of like-minded leaders. And I'll say this plainly, leaving a kind review matters more than you know. It helps more people find the show, and it keeps the momentum going. So pause for a moment and please drop that review. Lastly, if there's a topic you want me to cover, I want to hear from you. Reach out, because this podcast is for you and I'm here to serve. Until next time, stay boss-minded.